It's an all Penske front row. Once they get into that start zone, Will Power has the power. He dictates how the field will start, and he's gone. Power takes off. Scott Dixon's looking for a way through on Newgarden, and he can't. Hunter Ray on the inside of Rosenquist. Power's taken off, and the rookie slides into second.
Big jump by Hunter Ray, trying to get down the inside. He got pinched off by Dixon, but everybody gets through turn one clean as they run down the back straightaway.
Alexander Rossi backed off a little bit in one, but then challenged his teammate Hunter Ray. So Rossi is up to 5th, Hunter Ray back to 6th, and they're clean all the way through turn 4.
Rosenquist up to P2. He's made a move on the Penske car and has moved his way into P2. Big traffic back here.
You saw that pink Auto Nation Honda for Meyershank Racing of Jack Harvey. He was forceful with Charlie Kimball. There he is, tucked in behind Ryan Hunter-Ray. Then Kimball, then Graham Rahal, Hinchcliffe, Pagenaud. And then the Ed Carpenter cars are in the mix as well. But it's Will Power, the two-time winner here on the streets of St. Petersburg, who gets a clean, clear start and has taken off.
Watching Rosenquist, Paul, you mentioned it. What a start for the rookie. Taking Newgarden in the opening few corners and now opening up a really nice gap to Newgarden. There you see Rosenquist in the blue car, and here comes Dixon on Newgarden.
Talk about a start as I'm looking at the timing board. Andretti up to 14th from the back of the grid.
Let's take you back to the start. And Ryan Hunter-Ray, is there contact with Rosenquist? There sure is.
Sure was. Yeah, he had to back it off right there, and then Dixon turned in on him right here. He had to shut it down, and Rossi came around the outside.
Marty?
And he came on the radio right after that and kind of apologized to his team. They said, that's okay. He said, I got bottled up on the inside. I had no choice but to back off. But Ryan Hunter...
These front wings so much tougher than they were a couple of years ago. You can stand to rub a little bit. Now that we're at a unified aero kit, used to be that stuff would go ripping off like balsa wood.
Jack Harvey held his position on the start. He's sitting in P7 right behind Hunter Ray. He needs to just sit there and ride and learn off these guys and get a good result.
Meanwhile, for two-time and defending winner Sébastien Bourdais, he's gone backwards. He's lost a spot, 19th to 20th. And look at Felix Rosenquist in that blue NTT Data Honda for Chip Ganassi Racing. He has caught ground on Will Power. And the big mover in the pack, Ed Jones for Ed Carpenter Racing.
Ed Jones, and the first race for that new partnership with ECR and Scuderia Corsa, the Italian Ferrari team in GT racing. They've been thrilled with that partnership, and this is a great start to the race.
He's made up 3 positions from the start. Takuma Sato has made up 4. So a couple of big movers in the pack. Meanwhile, up front, Will Power, Felix Rosenquist.
Rosenquist now catching the back of Power. Power is a master of saving fuel. Rosenquist has been driving cars with no fuel, a Formula E, so he's got to learn how to save fuel.
And Kevin, he is challenging Will Power.
Actually, on that point, Paul Barry Wanzer, who is one of the strategists and team managers, said he knows how to save energy. Saving energy is actually harder than saving fuel, so he has experience at that. Coming into this race, he said, I know the golden rule, and it's don't make contact with your teammates. So really, I expected him, if Dixon challenged at all, let him go. But this shows how bold, how fast and aggressive Felix Rosenquist can be. He's off to a great start as a 27-year-old IndyCar rookie with a lot of experience.
We basically split the field on strategy. We've got half the cars from 14th down. Andretti was running 13th, 14th at the time, so he was really the last guy to come in. Maybe Veach will come next or Herta, but half the field is split. And here's Rahal coming in early, and he was more towards the front.
So I'm not sure too many want to go too long on these reds. We've heard maybe even as soon as 11 laps, they're really starting to lose life. And everyone started on sticker reds except Joseph Newgarden. And Graham Rahal was in that group. And we've got a yellow. Bourdais is in the wall.
And he is out. It is over. There will be no three-peat for Sébastien Bourdais.
A lot of smoke there. It might not have been in the wall. He might have an engine problem. There was smoke coming from the rear.
There was a rear shot of the carpool heading up towards turn 10, and you saw some flames on the right-hand side of the Sealmaster entry for Dale Coyne Racing with Vassar Sullivan. It's over. The dream of having the three-peat at home here in St. Pete is done for Sébastien Bourdais as Will Power dives for pit lane.
Must have been worried about a full course caution might come out with that car in the runoff, so they're taking the opportunity not to get hung out on the yellow.
But
yeah, taking advantage of that, actually, PT. So here's Will Power coming down pit road, the leader. Roger Penske really kind of telling him to mind the gap more than anything else. It's going to be scuffed primary tires for Will Power, hoping to take advantage. And so far, we're still green, guys. They're hoping that a caution will come out and they can jump the rest of the field.
Kyle Novak.
Also, Simon Pagenaud on pit road as well, guys.
Kyle Novak, the race director, told us in our meeting with him that he's going to do everything he can to try to stay green if somebody's safely in the runoff area. So that's the situation with Bourdais, and it was a very late decision from Will Power.
Yeah, it was. Wow, that was like, come in. Very, very late call through the grass, so they must have thought that they were going to have a problem. But Bourdais, engine goes away, big fire, and he pulls off into a safe spot. They won't go yellow down there, so I don't know if that was a good call for Roger to bail off and call him in.
And that's a pretty big failure on the right-hand side of Bourdais' car.
All the leaders are going to come down pit road this time, so they pitted on the very front end of the window. It does back them into the fact that they have to run a longer stint on this run, but you know what? They're not worried about it. They're going to run as fast as they can. As second and third place come down pit road right now. Joseph Newgarden, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Scott Dixon also coming down pit road as well. All of these guys going to primary tires, and they asked Ryan Hunter-Reay, can you run 3 more laps? We would love for you to go 3 more laps. He said it's not going to last that long. Will Power has shot by, so you see Newgarden and then Dixon, Hunter-Reay leaving pit road as well.
Where will these guys blend out? There goes Power. He's comfortably through turn 3 in the brake zone. And look at this, Rosenqvist.
Whoa, and Newgarden ahead of the Ganassi driver for the time being, but was short-lived.
Big move on the outside, cold tires for Newgarden. He tried to defend, but Rosenqvist was at speed, had a lap on his tires already.
You really need 2 or 3 corners to get temperature into the Firestones. Now Newgarden has that with Dixon behind, so Newgarden should be able to now comfortably slot into pace. And further back, there's Tony Kanaan, who hasn't stopped. There's the AJ Foyt driver driving the 14. Hasn't been a great weekend for them, but they've stayed out and worked themselves into the top 5 for now. Marty, here comes Rossi.
Yeah, the last of the leaders to come down pit road, and a good call by Rob Edwards here, just going that 1 extra lap than everybody else. It's going to buy them some time on the back end, so maybe they can short fill on subsequent stops. The Andretti cars have really struggled on older red tires. They put the primary black sidewall Firestones on. Alexander Rossi back on the racetrack. We'll see where he cycles in with the rest of the leaders.
Whoa. Comes out. Can't really tell who that was, but it was a big moment there as he chopped across the bow.
It was Kanaan.
So Rossi comes out in 6th place just behind Kanaan, who is not pitted yet. There's Tony. There's Rossi. So Rossi comes back out in the same position he was in.
So Power boasts a 4-second advantage over Felix Rosenqvist and then Joseph Newgarden and Scott Dixon. And Kanaan running in that top 5. Early stages of this 110-lap Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Well, Power came out and said, I was so regretful for the way that last year started. It was all my own fault, spinning, challenging Robert Wickens at turn 2 right about here a year ago. And he said, I put myself in that bad and poor position. Problem for Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Another Honda.
Another Honda's had an engine failure, same side. Turbo looks like it's gone away.
He came on the radio and said, yep, it's gone, guys, meaning the engine, obviously, for Ryan Hunter-Reay. And this is the one thing he said we could not have in 2019. They had all the poor finishes because of DNFs last year. Here they are, race 1. Ryan Hunter-Reay is going to be out early.
And that is not good for Tony Kanaan. There is the full course caution. Kanaan was hanging on.
Yeah.
Big talk this weekend was that Honda still had an advantage power-wise over Chevy, but right now they've got an unreliability problem.
2 of the big favorites for this race out. Sébastien Bourdais, followed by Ryan Hunter-Reay. We are ready to go green, and look at Felix Rosenqvist. He is all over the gearbox of Will Power. He's not letting the reigning Indy 500 champion get away. Coming into that restart zone, Power gets sideways.
He got a good start, Rosenqvist. He's
look
right there.
Inside.
He's making the move.
Cautions can breed cautions. Rosenqvist in the
inside.
inside.
It up, but he gets it.
Power
squares him up. You won't go through there 2 abreast. He's got him.
Felix Rosenqvist made his intentions clear. Down to turn 4, Will Power look for an inside line. Pokes his nose out. Is he going to go through with it? No.
Almost almost gets his front wing chopped off by Rosenqvist. What a move.
What a terrific job by Rosenqvist on the brakes in turn 1 to just keep that tire rolling after a little bit of lockup. That is the sign of an experienced and very talented Swede.
He has done more than 10 series around the globe, both open wheel and sports car. He is an incredible driver. People have been talking about him for years, whether he was headed to Formula One or IndyCar. And here he is, and he's making his name for himself in America on day 1.
And he pulled off that move with patience right here in the final corner, coming to get the green flag. And uh-oh, Power has a problem.
Power might have a gearbox problem coming off the last corner because he didn't get off that corner well at all, and he's going to lose. Oh, big brakes. Huge braking by Power into the turn 1.
I wonder if he didn't get all the way down to second gear. He might have been in third perhaps by accident coming off the final corner because the car accelerated just fine, but not initially.
Hey, here's something we've said before, haven't we, fellas? Dixon and Rossi together on track. Jack Harvey, and then Graham Rahal, James Hinchcliffe, and Ed Jones.
Gotta say, Jack Harvey doing a terrific job today, running in 6th place. Sister car with James Hinchcliffe just behind, but Jack Harvey's been leading the charge. That 3-car effort.
Rosenqvist is checking out. It looks like Power is just holding up the whole train. And I'm wondering if anybody's heard anything in the pits, if he has a gearbox problem or he's not getting into second gear. Watch here coming off the last corner if he has another problem.
A little wide there. Newgarden also wide of the apex. I think both those Penske's struggling a little bit with the balance down there.
Rosenqvist is starting to streak away. He's got almost 2 seconds over Will Power to Newgarden. Dixon, Rahal thought about it on Jack Harvey there.
And with the strength of Rosenqvist, you have to look back to Dixon running in 4th. He's starting to challenge Newgarden. So Ganassi looks to be very strong. And let's take a look at the restart again here.
Perfectly timed by Rosenqvist. He just got a good exit, popped out, and then was deep on the brakes, locks the inside tire, releases the brakes, runs a little bit wide. Right here, you'll see the inside tire on the paint. Watch this, bang, on the brakes. Power squares him up, tries to come do the over-under, but there's no room to get through.
Right side, clear.
Oh, this is not good.
That is Ed Jones, I believe, in the number 20.
Okay? I'm fine.
Nope.
Oh, and laced.
Maybe both of them are in the fence.
Looks like they might have hooked wheels together. Laced back tire is up, like they've hooked front and rear wheels together. We hope we can get a replay of that for you guys.
And that corner, turn 9, leading onto the back straight, we've always seen issues there, Paul, where somebody jumps in that little short chute between turns 8 and 9.
You can see there's been 2 cars in the wall there. There's marks.
And sometimes what happens is somebody clips the inside wall with the right front. So we'll have to get a feel for what happened.
And guys, in similar fashion, Matthias Laced went out on lap 28 of this race last year. We've done 26. Let's have a look. Oh,
that's it.
That was a hard hit, and Laced just probably came around, clipped him.
Yep.
And what happened was clipping the right front. We've seen that with Tony Kanaan in previous years here. If you just get it millimeter wrong on the turn-in, watch this, boom, you break the right front steering arm and you are a passenger at that point.
You can see the mark on his tire right there. There's a white mark on the tire. So he clipped the inside wall and it just shot him. Boom, right. You can't even turn the car and you go right in.
Watch how close Zach Veach comes to hitting him. Wait for it, wait for it. This is Veach, watch this.
Oh! Oh! And that's Laced, just feels the right corner right off.
Because he cannot see through he has no idea there's a car there when you're coming through that turn. It's completely blind until it's too late.
All right, let's see if Will Power can do to Felix Rosenqvist what the Swede did to him. Green flag flies here in St. Petersburg, but Felix Rosenqvist is far enough ahead of Will Power. No challenge there, but Dixon on the inside of Newgarden.
Dixon got a nice draft, but he got the nose chopped off by the Penske car, and now he's going to be under attack on the push to pass by Rossi.
Jack Harvey? Jack Harvey holding off his teammate, sort of teammate, James Hinchcliffe.
Kimball on Pagenaud in the background as well. The Kanaan driver puts his Chevrolet on the inside of the Penske man and gets that position.
Rossi searching for a way by Dixon. Tough to really pull up a pass down here into turn 10. You thread the needle through this wide open, flat out kink at about 150 miles an hour.
Overtake is active at the timeline.
Rob Edwards reminding Rossi that push to pass, the overtake is active at the timeline. It's not available on the first lap of a restart, but it is now, and somebody's coming to pit lane. That's Kimball, I think.
Some cars up in front here racing with each other. Pagenaud now pulling up on the back of these guys. Whoa!
Colton Herta on Zach Veach, two young Americans. Colton Herta makes the move. Veach tries to cross him up, but I think Herta will have the advantage going to turn 4.
That was like the Newgarden Mid-Ohio move. He went outside, inside on him.
That was for 11th. Nice work from the 18-year-old rookie. When we see you in 2 weeks' time, I think his birthday's fast approaching. He's about to turn 19. Take a look at this.
On board with Veach. Woo! That was close.
And heads-up driving there from Zach Veach too. He could have fought that harder, but maybe one or both would have ended in the concrete wall. Race leader Felix Rosenqvist to the tune of 1.5 seconds. Rosenqvist last pitted on lap 16. There are 50 laps in the books already, and here he comes.
Newgarden closed in on him as he seemed to be struggling with the tires at the end of the stint, Kevin.
And before he got the call to pit, they said, turn it up to mixture 1, make up some time. So those in laps and then the out lap coming up, always critical. Stop number 2 from Felix Rosenqvist through the lead, legitimately here in his IndyCar debut. Another set of Firestone blacks, and Rosenqvist back at it.
Power's coming down the front straight. Here is Power. Look to the right. There is the silver Chevrolet for Team Penske. He's got him no problem.
Got him easy. He was a bit long.
Only problem, though, is Power.
He might not have him.
Oh!
He might lose it on the coming on. It's real slick on sticker tires, but Power has traffic, and that was close.
Spencer Pigot, Rosenqvist figuring out what cold tires and full fuel feels like in the heat of the battle.
That was a welcome to IndyCar from Will Power, the reigning Indy 500 champion.
Rosenqvist's stop, he was about a foot long on the marks, and that could have cost him just a little bit of time. We're going to see what happens next. When Newgarden pits, Newgarden stayed out, and he was right on the back of Rosenqvist when he pitted, so he might have an opportunity to jump him in the pits. We're going to see when they come around this time.
Let's have a look at this one more time. That was spectacular. It was close. Rosenqvist on the right in the blue machine. Here comes Will Power. Oh!
He had to get on the brakes. He had to lock the brakes up to avoid hitting him. Look.
And Rosenqvist surely had a spotter in his ear saying, inside, inside, watch out. Now Spencer Pigot runs in 4th with Power just behind. Pigot last pitted on lap 21. He still probably has 3 or 4 more laps. He's going to hold up Will Power. Rosenqvist is going to have a chance to catch Power and potentially make a move.
Newgarden and Dixon are still on track. They're going to try to jump these guys in the pits. If they've got the pace, I don't think that Rosenqvist had the pace. I think these guys are lighting it up on lap time as Newgarden, I think, is on the push to pass.
Newgarden's the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Joseph Newgarden just did a 101.7, and Spencer Pigot's doing 103.2. Second and a half faster is Newgarden than Pigot, who holds up Will Power. That's why that's important.
You know what was nice, guys, when we were doing the pre-race show, sitting right on the edge of the grandstand there in the Peacock pit box, was seeing multiple Swedish race fans in the crowd with their shirts, with the Swedish flags, here for Felix Rosenqvist and Marcus Ericsson. Power gets Pigot now.
Newgarden and Dixon still on track. If it goes yellow, they're really putting themselves in the danger zone if they get caught out by a yellow with these guys racing in and out of the pits. We've seen these guys get hurt by that before, but let's watch Newgarden and see if he comes in this time.
Hey guys, Tim Cindric and Mike Hull both very aggressive on the radio, telling both of their drivers, Joseph Newgarden and Scott Dixon, be liberal with the push to pass. They're both down to 82 for Newgarden, 80 for Dixon. They're trying to build that gap. We've talked about the delta on pit road, right around 23 seconds. Right now, they're 24 seconds above everybody else. Scott Dixon coming down pit road. Again, he used a ton of push to pass there. Dixon hits pit road here with 56 to go, with only 80 seconds left. Compared to some other guys like Felix Rosenqvist, he has 101 seconds left of push to pass. Dixon said a little bit of understeer in that car. It's going to be primary tires for Scott Dixon going on, pitting here with 56 to go, and Joseph Newgarden still on the racetrack using some push to pass. There goes Will Power by Scott Dixon.
Dixon's going to come out right with his teammate here, right with Power. He's on cold tires, and so he's beat his teammate out by staying out and running hot laps. Newgarden is going to come out in the lead. He's been laying down fast laps and using the push to pass. He needs a clean, slick stop, and he might come out in the lead.
Clever work from Chris Simmons, Mike Hull, and the team of the 9 for Scott Dixon. Here is Joseph Newgarden. Does he have the advantage? Where's he going to cycle out? This is going to be close.
And here comes Joseph Newgarden, a move by Tim Cindric that could flip the track position in this race and give Joseph Newgarden the lead, telling him to stay out, working that push to pass. He hits pit road, only 78 seconds left of that. And another move, they're going with the softer red tires, not the primary tires everybody else has on, hoping they can again lay down some lap times, Kevin.
It's a fast stop.
Marty, you saw Joseph Newgarden going right around Marcus Ericsson, who just pitted 10 laps ago, and they just radioed in, shut it off. We've got an engine issue, so they're trying to diagnose that. So the rookie from 5 years in Formula One is not having the debut in IndyCar that he wanted.
That's the leader right now, or sorry, in second, Marco Andretti. Remember, he pitted off sequence, but he's trying to hang on here and stretch this stint as far as he can, but those rear tires have to be fried.
He's not the leader. Newgarden's 3 seconds down the road. He came out and is long gone. He's way down the straightaway there.
Marco in second.
So it's Penske, Ganassi, Newgarden, Power, Dixon, and Rosenqvist. So this is a lot more orderly. Race leader Joseph Newgarden has that 5.5 second lead, now out to 5.8. So it is very comfortable for the driver from Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Uh-oh. This could be a yellow. That is a banner, a tarp, or a blanket.
Somebody must have hit the wall at the turn 1 and dragged the Chevy banner off of the wall. It's kind of offline, so I don't know if they really need to go yellow for that. Well, it will certainly shake things up.
They went too wide through there. I don't think that would be particularly safe. Not that I'm rooting for a yellow or anything, but
yeah.
Apparently race control saying it's out of the line, but with a stiff wind, that could be online.
Hey Lee, you mentioned it a moment ago. Last year for Joseph Newgarden, 3 wins, and those were his only podiums. So Friday when he and I sat down and chatted, he said that is the #1 thing for us. We have to get the wins, yes, but we have to turn those other days into podium finishes, and that's where we missed it in trying to win the championship in 2018. So Joseph Newgarden, fantastic start if he can hold on for 3 more laps, but at these races where it isn't going well, that's the focus this year, to get those podiums.
And just think about the strength from the captains' teams, and I say plural, in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, what the teams have been doing there, what they've been doing in Australia with Scott McLaughlin in the Supercar Series, and now these guys felt the pressure. Roger Penske told us the other day that these guys, these 3, Pagenaud, Power, and Newgarden, came to him and Tim Cindric and said, oh, Bill, I guess it's up to us now. We've got to carry our end of the deal. Well, they most certainly have here today.
Saw Roger last night in the lobby of the hotel. I said, man, you're firing on all cylinders. They've won the first 2 races in Australia. They got both of their drivers in the chase. A car on pole today for the Cup race. And looks like they're heading for another win today. Big sideways for Hinch coming off the last corner.
And we haven't talked about Hinchcliffe much today, but former winner here, needed a strong start to the season like those Penske drivers, and I know it's 6th place, but it's a really strong, solid run for Hinch and this team, and they really struggled at points during the weekend. Not a great qualifying result, but they're fighting through it, and they're fighting through that lap traffic. Ben Hanley just getting out of the way as Hinch had big oversteer coming onto the front straight.
And it's a shame that his Arrow Schmidt-Peterson teammate Marcus Ericsson couldn't finish on debut, but it'll be a strong points finish for James. 1.8 miles to go for Joseph Newgarden. So proud of his roots in Tennessee, but has lived now since joining the Penske organization, has lived in North Carolina. He lives in a beautiful little college town called Davidson. And he's getting engaged, he's getting married this year, got engaged in the offseason. This is a huge year for him in 2019, and he's starting it off the best possible way. And this was a forceful demonstration too. Good driving, good strategy. It was the pieces of the puzzle put together just nice.
And I really think the difference was that decision by Tim Cindric to go with the reds there on the shorter stint and give Newgarden a chance to open up some pace, dominate a little bit there. I thought it was a bit risky, but clearly Cindric and Team Penske had the information. They knew what they were dealing with.
This was one circuit that the 2017 champion has not been victorious on up until now. Joseph Newgarden. He wins in St. Petersburg to get the 2019 season off to the best possible start.
I thought they were going to win first of the year.
And this Penske juggernaut continues in 2019, no matter what the series, no matter what the country around the world. And Joseph Newgarden picks up career win number 11.
Thanks, Rick.
Well, I was expecting havoc today with these guys, but that was a nice, clean race and hard racing up front. We had three of the top 5 guys all swapping the lead on pit stops, coming in and out of the pits. There could have been disaster when those guys were doing the over-under, nearly colliding with each other coming out of the pits, but nice, clean race today.
And that continues the domination of this event by Team Penske as well, whether it be Helio Castro-Neves, Ryan Briscoe, Will Power, Juan Pablo Montoya. Well, now you can put Joseph Newgarden's name on that list as a winner of the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg.
Penske continues to dominate the streets of St. Pete. The start of the weekend, they did not look good. They were in the mid-teens, but really gathered it back up for Saturday qualifying.
Teammate Will Power drifts by. He picks up a podium spot behind Scott Dixon, but it is all about the Newgarden family celebrating a victory in Florida.
And what a big win for Joseph Newgarden and Team Penske. They start 2019 the right way here in Victory Lane at St. Pete. Gonna go give his new fiance Ashley a kiss and the team a little bath. I bet that feels good on an 85-degree day here. Hey, Joseph, talk to me about how you and Tim Cindric flipped the track position #1, and then how key was that run on the reds to kind of make a gap on Scott Dixon?
Well, we were literally talking about it right before the race. Tim and me were trying to figure out, should we go used or new reds, and we made the call at the last minute. Let's stay used. We'll have that advantage if we need it, and we used it. It just worked out perfectly. I mean, I can't thank Chevy enough for all their support and what they put in this weekend. Incredible engine. We had everything we needed: fuel mileage, reliability, and all the power. And then the Hitachi car was just, I'm telling you, we really figured things out on Saturday, and it was a rocket ship. So thankful to our group. We have the best of the best working at Team Penske.
Yeah, what did you tell me in the offseason, that this was the #1 priority, street courses? So did this answer the question that you figured that out?
Well, we started on the right foot for sure. I mean, I think we made a big step. We felt positive about the step that we made. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the year. Street courses, I think we feel better on. We got to convert that to road courses now at COTA, and then obviously Indianapolis is still going to be a priority. So let's see where we're at a little later on in the year.
How tough was that lap traffic today? Because at times it seemed dicey. You had to use a lot of push to pass to get around them.
Killing me. I mean, it was definitely manufacturers playing good guys with each other, but it was really tough. I mean, I just didn't want to see people in front of me. I wanted to keep running my laps, and I knew I had the pace to keep in front of Scott, but I was just worried about something going wrong. And when you have that many cars in front, that's normally what can happen. But everyone was kind enough, is what I would say. It's still hard, but they were kind enough.
So what did you tell us pre-race? You said the V8 guys have done their job, the Cup guys have done their job, now it's our turn to do our job. I guess you did that.
A lot of pressure, man. We got to do well at Team Penske. Everyone else is rising up, but that's what we did. We just tried to stay on it today, and I'm happy we could join the other groups.
You guys have answered the bell. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joseph Newgarden in victory lane, and Tim Cindric, after his hip replacement, has hobbled to victory lane, and a happy bunch here for Team Penske.
Watch the IndyCar Classic at Circuit of the Americas, Sunday, March 24th at 1 p.m. on NBCSN.